No, I have more stuff back from Sunrise, from Mark Ferriester. It's unbelievable what he does. I had some Voltaco stuff in there, Harley Baja levers, perches, and some Suzuki and Honda stuff too. Lower fork legs for a Honda. Came out really nice. The smoke's been brutal all day here. It doesn't matter that I have a fan, it just blows right through the shop. It's really smoky. Yeah, I'll do that. Call them, get tickets. But not September 11th. That's Hangtown weekend. To you by Motion Pro. The next time, try this segment. We've got a really great little product. I told you about it last week. It's called Spray Max. We're going to tell you all about that. A RUP 125, very unusual bike sent to us by Joe Anderson. And here's the problem segment. We're going to be talking about torquing spokes. What's it worth segment, a 1975 Penton 250. You'll get a shot to see if you know how much that bike's worth for. Race Day Live, Oscar Gayton was out on the road again, out in Wildcat Creek. We're going to have coverage from that event. The next time, try this segment and a whole lot more coming up on Vintage Motocross Q&A. Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Abadi. Thank you for joining us tonight on Vintage Motocross Q&A. Thank you, Jordan, Chelsea, and Susie, for helping me put the show together. And of course, once again, thank you, the viewers at home who join us every week. Don't forget to keep sharing the show. Last week, we hit over 84,000 people for the month for 28 days, an all-time high. Share the show on Facebook, share it on YouTube. If you're sharing it on YouTube, don't forget to comment Motion Pro. We will have a random share giveaway winner a little bit later on in the broadcast. The YouTube channel, it's growing, but we still need more help. So get over there, subscribe. You'll get a little alert, tells you when we're live on YouTube. And don't forget, you can listen to all the interviews and all of our past shows from Vintage Motocross Q&A over on the YouTube channel at your convenience. So please subscribe and get your friends to do so as well. How are the pros watching the show? How are the experts watching it? They're sitting back on their couch and they're using their phone to comment from the big screen TV. That's how the pros are doing it. That's how you can be enjoying the show as well. And don't forget to keep sending in your cards, your letters, and of course, those great bikes for the Moto Showcase, like we have the Joe Anderson bike coming up a little bit later on. So keep emailing us, keep sending us some requests of things that you want to see on the show, and questions, whatever it might be. Keep it coming in. We really, really appreciate that. So it makes the show a lot of fun. As always, I want to thank my sponsors, Vinco, Motion Pro, Racer X, Golden Products, Sunrise Vapor Blasting, Preston Petty Products, Northwest Mako CZ, and of course, Full Circle Racing Limited. Tonight's Next Time Try This segment is brought to you by Vinco. Keep the ride going. Tonight, I want to talk to you about Clear Coat.
A lot of your bikes have clear coat on the lower fork legs. There are also other parts of the bike, but you want a quality clear coat, not something you're just going to go get at one of your local Home Depots or a place like that. What I've discovered is this Spray Max 2K Clear Glamour. What makes this stuff really special is it comes with a hardener, just like a professional would use out of a spray gun. It's got a little nozzle on the bottom like this, and it's got a cap that comes on the top. You put this cap on the bottom, you press down on it, you shake it up for a couple of minutes, and then you can use it just like you would any other spray, except it comes out a little bit thicker and a lot shinier. Now, to do this, you can do it with your forks apart, or you could do them with the forks together. I chose to do a set with the forks together. It looks just like this. I masked off the bottom, and I masked off the studs that are on the bottom over here. I then did a little finishing with a Scotch-Brite pad, and then I followed up with some alcohol to get it nice and clean before I was ready to spray it. I then took it outside and I sprayed it out there. I would strongly advise, if you are not in a well-ventilated area, that you certainly use a mask when you use this product. It seems very toxic. It's got a very, very strong chemical smell to it. It's not something you really want to use inside. Outside, you'd be fine. The lower fork leg came out really nicely. 2 tips I wanted to give you. Also, don't forget, mask off the studs that are on the bottom. You don't really want to get clear on the threads of that. Also, I replaced the drain plug or the drain bolt that's in this Honda leg with this screw. This way, you don't get clear on that, and if you have a nice polished piece of hardware, you could put it back in when you're done, but you're not going to get clear coat inside that threaded area of your drain plug of your fork. So, there you have it. Stuff works pretty well. I've used it here on the show. And that's it for the next time. Try this segment, which is brought to you by Vintco. Keep the ride going.
Tip there, I wanted to tell you it's about 18 bucks a can in most places. You can go on eBay and you can buy it for a lot less, like $4 or $5 a can less if you buy 5 or 6 cans at a time. Spray Max, good stuff. The Moto Showcase tonight is brought to you by Preston Petty Products. And in the Moto Showcase, we have a 1974 Rupp that was sent in to us by Joe Anderson. Very, very unusual bike. And Joe says, or he has written to us, I'm always looking for a different type of build for myself, and this latest creation has taken me some time to find all the right components. It's a 74 Rupp RMX 125. I bought it as a package deal with 4 other bikes from a gentleman out in Missouri. The Rupp 125s were produced in Ohio from 72 to 74 so that Mr. Rupp and his sons could enjoy a full-sized bike. You know, Rupp was, of course, famous for making mini bikes at the time. These were based on the 72 Penton 6-day trials bikes or 6-day bikes, and they were the first to have forward-mounted shocks on the swing arm at that time. I do believe AJS might have been before that, but I'm not here to argue with anybody. The chromoly frame was made in the U.S. along with the Alcoa forged aluminum hubs and triple clamps. Joe says that he modified this bike with the following items. He's got a 74 YZ forks on it. He's got NOS gold sun rims. He's got Harley 250 Tomaselli levers on the bike, CZ plastic airbox and fender, OSA Phantom seat and front fender, Clark Vesco MX tank, 75 CR250 Honda side panels. Doug Childress did the pipe, originally from Monarch downpipes, got Falcon aluminum shocks, Husqvarna aluminum rear brake pedal. Many bolts and nuts were fabricated either out of aluminum or titanium. He's got a powder-coated frame, a SAC 6B engine that was modified with EC Burt porting, a 30mm Mikuni carb HPI ignition, and updated shift parts and clutch, custom ignition cover, and a custom clutch cover as well. And Joe explained that he had the fins milled down on the head and on the cylinder. The bike weighs a feathery 174 pounds dry, and he expects it to be extremely competitive in the classic class at AHRMA races. Well, Joe Anderson, once again, you sent us in a beautiful bike, and this Rupp is really, really unusual. And thanks again for sending it in. Joe Anderson, Rupp 125. The special this week from Preston Petty is a shirt. Now, you may not need fenders, you may not need a headlight, you may not need grips, but I'll tell you what, everybody needs a shirt from Preston Petty. And it's on sale this week for just $15.95, regularly $21.95. Get that Preston Petty shirt. Get it for somebody you love, get it for yourself. $15.95, PrestonPetty.com. And here's the problem segment tonight, which is brought to you by Motion Pro. We'll take a look at some of your questions that came in the last week. Jordan, what have we got up first? Phil Lemons, what's the best way to cleanly strip a set of engine cases for a 1979 Honda CR250? The red appears different from the frame, less glossy. Is it? How do I achieve that? The best way to get a set of cases clean is to use vapor blasting. You heard me talk about Mark Ferriester and Sunrise vapor blasting. That is the best way you're going to do it. If you can't get it to Mark, yes, you can use glass bead. You can even use paint stripper, but nothing's going to get it cleaner than vapor blasting. That's the best way to get those cases clean. Now, you made mention of being as shiny as the frame, the plastic, and the gas tank. That is true. Now, you'll see many restorations these days on 79 CR 125s and 250s, and they all appear to have the same color paint on the engine and on the frame. There's so many out there that most people at some point aren't even going to know the difference. But originally, that bike did come with an engine that was not quite as shiny as the frame and as the tank. What they do is they put a flattening agent in the paint. And you can get that if you want to buy your paint in a 2-part epoxy like this was used earlier, the spray max, you could do that, and you could talk to them about putting the flattening agent in the paint. Or after you're done, you can use a flattening agent, a matte finish clear over that. Now, I'm not sure about how long that's going to last and what the properties are of it as far as heat, but if you're building a show bike, you're not going to have any problem, of course, using a matte clear finish over your gloss finish, or you might have the paint mixed up custom just for that. So yes, vapor blasting gets it the cleanest, and the engine was a different color than the frame and the tank. Thanks, Phil Lemons. Will you discuss applying grease around the lip of an air filter? Is it even necessary? It is, Kevin Keith. A lot of people sometimes overlook that. Filters have gotten a lot better over the years. Still have air boxes on bikes, and so have the filter foams themselves. But yes, it is a good idea to put a ring of grease around the lip of that filter, more toward the outside. It doesn't have to be real close to the air box or anywhere near where it can get sucked in through the intake of the carburetor. But you want to use a waterproof grease. AMSOIL makes a great product. It is waterproof grease, as I just mentioned. So yeah, a good film of grease around the lip of your filter before you put it onto your airbox or that ring that you have where it may sit in your bike is really, really a good idea. It always has been. Dale Cleary sent me this question a couple of weeks ago. I just haven't had a chance to get to it, but I'm happy to do it tonight. Dale wants to know, should spokes not only be tightened, but also torqued? I talked to Tom McAllister about this from Full Circle Racing, and he says he does do it on occasion, not all. He is a seasoned wheel builder. He doesn't really have to do it on everyone, but he says at some point he does. He runs the spokes all the way down. He gets it to where you can't see the thread. He goes around, gets the hop out of the wheel, and gets the wobble. And at some point, he may go back there and torque the spokes as well. I think he mentioned something about foot inches, not foot pounds. He would torque the head of your bike or the cylinder, but foot inches. And I think he said something about 50 or 52. Don't hold me to that. But yes, Dale, you can torque spokes, and it probably would be a great idea. Not everybody does it, but there's a tool for it, and Tom McAllister says he does do it on occasion. Thanks for the question, Dale.
Hi, I'm Sue Fish. You are watching Vintage Motocross Q&A. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jeff with Motion Pro, introducing you to the Masterlink Press Tool. Now, the Masterlink Press Tool is an innovative addition to our wide variety of chain tools here at Motion Pro, and what makes this tool so unique is that it both presses on and presses off Masterlink side plates. It's designed to be used with all 50 series clip-style links and performs the job very easily. The Masterlink Press Tool is constructed with a billet aluminum body and hardened steel pins for long-lasting durability. It's affordably priced at $28.99 and is available from your favorite dealers nationwide.
Race Day Live. Our man Oscar Gayton was out in the field this past week at Wildcat Creek. Let's see what Oscar brought us to the show tonight.
Good morning, everyone. It's Oscar Gayton here for Vintage Motocross Q&A. Today we're in Rossville, Indiana at the Midwest Vintage Motocross Race of Champions. The Race of Champions is a 5-man team. Each rider will be on a different era bike. all the way from the 70s right to modern bikes. Same as the Motocross Nation scoring system. I've seen some really cool bikes here. We're going to get some interviews with the riders, get some race footage for you guys, and I hope you enjoy the show. Walking through the pits, I found Bob Spees here with his beautiful Husqvarna here. I'll let Bob talk about it. Basically, where'd you find this bike?
Found it in Georgia in Marketplace, and it was in boxes, and went down and picked it up. I've always wanted a Husky, 73 or 74 400, and set out building it during my COVID break. So John LaFerve did the motor on it, and Carl Landis did the swing arm, and we also did the modification, like the 250 mag on the frame. John did that for us as well. Powder coated it, did the front triple clamps, roller bearing kit on it, and W did the wheels for me on it. So that's about it.
Okay. Well, how many AHRMA championships do you have? Expert championships?
I don't know, a few of them. I don't know.
I thought you were like Mike Alessi.
I don't know. I think you'd have to look at the trailer. I think 16 or 17.
16 or really that many?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry.
You know what? I'm glad you're my teammate today. I'm just going to say that straight up. You're a good man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Bob. I think you guys are dressed for success, man. This is the best looking team in the pits. Straight up.
Yeah. And it's probably the oldest.
The oldest, too?
It's all about looking good.
Oh, heck yeah. Look at this wool sink replica over here. It's beautiful.
Ski hill. In the lobby, nobody knows the difference between
yeah, that's right.
talent and no talent.
That's right.
Third place, Panic Rev. Second place, Doctor's Dream Team. In first place, winners of this year's Race of Champions, and yes, it wasn't Great Escape. Sorry, 3 years running, it's had to come to an end. Team WFO.
Thank you, Oscar Gayton, for bringing us that coverage from Wildcat Creek. You did a great job. If anybody else out there who has just seen this video has some events coming up in their area and they'd like to give us some coverage of an event, let me know. I'd like to talk to you more about that, what we're looking for, and you could be here with us on Vintage Motocross Q&A. The What's at Work segment tonight is, of course, brought to you by Full Circle Racing. This is the section of the show where you get to guess, or maybe you even know, how much a bike recently sold for. So, as I tell you more about this bike, you can put in to the comment section what you think it sold for. It is the 1975 Penton 250. It sold on July 31st, and it was sold in South Carolina. I'll tell you a little bit about it. Jordan will go through the slides. The motor was professionally built by KTM expert Kip Kern. Replaced parts were gasket, seals, piston assembly, rod assembly. Pinion bearing, clutch cover bearing, plate, spacer, engine parts were supplied by Al Buhner. The subframe and the swing arm, an extra one, were also included in this deal. It has a rebuilt Bing 54 carburetor. Only non-ethanol gas has been used in this bike. It's got a new box plug, new pipe, new plastic billet, front aluminum number plate holder, a new seat cover. KTM magnesium hubs, rims, spokes, nipples, tubes, and wheel locks are all new. The wheel bearings, front and rear, the gripper pegs, the shifter, kickstarter, frame guard, skid plate, Magura grips. It's got a no-toil air filter. The gas tank and cap cork are also new. It's got new brake shoes, front and rear, did gold chain sprockets, aluminum chain guard, chain block, steering race, fork seals, seal savers, and rebuilt Coney shocks. That is one mountain of parts that are all brand new or NOS on this bike. So it's all rebuilt. It's all there. What do you think it sold for? 6,000? 6,500. 45? The bike sold for $5,000. 75 Penton 250, $5,000. And I'll bet anything there is close to $4,000, $3,000 in parts in this bike for sure. I took a glance at the list. I added things up in my head earlier before the show. There's at least 3,000 plus the bike. Somebody got a smoking deal at $5,000 for a 75 Penton 250. Full Circle Racing still has that great special going on. Powder coating your hubs. Just send them up there to Tom McAllister. He'll blast them, clean them, mask them. Powder coat them any color you like, and he'll do the brake plate as well. This is a gloss finish or a matte finish. He'll make it in a custom color. And don't forget, Tom's a great guy. If you're buying spokes and rims, you can get everything there in a one-stop shop from Tom McAllister at Full Circle Racing. Have you ever heard of, brought to you by Sunrise Vapor Blasting, have you ever heard of a Saracen? Saracen. Very, very few of these bikes exist. Go on the internet. If you look on Google, you'll be amazed at how few pictures there actually are. Anyway, the Saracen motorcycle was produced from 1967 to 1975, first by Robin Goodfellow in Gloucester, then by David Brand in Watford, Hertfordshire. These were trials machines fitted with 125cc Sachs 2-stroke engine and a 5-speed gearbox. The result was a kit that was high quality and well made with a good frame. Although successful, the machines were kind of expensive at that time, and the company lost money, so it went into liquidation in August of 1971. David Brand bought the firm. He moved the production to Waterford, where he built some machines in 123, 169, and 188cc configurations. Later on, tried to modify a big bore and went up to a 250. But by then, the Spanish marks were just all over the place in trials, and they were very, very competitive. Of course, the Bultacos and the Monteses and the little Saracen company didn't thrive very long, and an end came to them in 1973, the Saracen. Have you ever heard of one? Now you have. As I was just telling you, Sunrise Vapor Blasting, the best guy in the business, Mark Ferriester. I sent him another box last week. I had it back in 3 days. I had Bultaco parts there, Harley Baja parts, and a bunch of other stuff. Nobody does it better. So whether it's for your car, boat, plane, or any kind of delicate metal that you don't want to change the profile of and you want to make it cleaner than new, get it over to Mark Ferriester at Sunrise Vapor Blasting. He does a fantastic job. I trust him, and so should you. And on those delicate things like inside your carburetors, or if there's some brass fittings that you can't get out, no worries. Mark is really, really gentle with that machine. He'll get everything all cleaned up, get it back to you looking like brand new, probably even better. Mark Ferriester, Sunrise Vapor Blasting. We're going to take a commercial break. Don't forget to keep sharing the show. When we get back, we will have tonight's winner of the Random Share giveaway.
Classic and vintage dirt bikes are more than a hobby. It's not just about the ride. It's about the work that goes in. The work that keeps you connected to the ride. It's about bringing the bike back to life and doing it with your own hands. It's about the adrenaline and adventure. And when it comes to putting all the pieces together, only Vinco knows the bikes and parts the way you do. Vinco, keep the ride going.
Thank you, Jay Clark, Curtis Leverton, and everyone over at Vinco.com. Tonight's Random Share giveaway winner is Dave Tice. Dave Tice, if you're still watching the show, inbox me your address. We'll get you a nice gift box. In that box will be a couple of different things from some of the sponsors of the show. Dave Tice, if you're still watching, get a hold of me. If you're a friend of Dave Tice, tell him he has won the Random Share giveaway on Vintage Motocross Q&A. This Week in Motocross History is brought to you by Racer X Magazine, available on your newsstand now and, of course, online. Racer X. Check out our ad in the back of the magazine. This Week in Motocross History, 1974, jamming in New York. At Moto Masters Park in Mexico, New York's Jimmy Weinert and Husqvarna's Marty Trice are the winners in their respective classes at the AMA 250 and 500 National. Weinert finished ahead of three Mako riders, Steve Stackable, Rex Staten, and Gary Chaplin. Trice bettered Can-Am's Gary Jones, the reigning series champion, and Tim Hart, as well as Pierre Karsmakers. You know, they're saying that Rex Staten rode a Mako here. I guess he pretty much rode everything. I don't really remember him on Mako too much, but I remember Gary Chaplin. Anyway, Jammer won that day in New York in 1974. In 1981, the Golden Boy goes 1-1. The AMA National Motocross Championship ended at Carlsbad Raceway in Southern California with Brock Glover winning the 500 class. The Yamaha rider, who would lay claim to the series title as well, went 1-1 aboard the big board Yamaha. Suzuki's Marty Smith finished second in what would be Marty's last AMA event. Yamaha's Mike Bell was third, and the future FIM 250cc world champion Danny Laporte aboard a Honda finished fourth. Wardy by 2 points. In one of the most controversial conclusions to the AMA Supercross Championship, Kawasaki's Jeff Ward claimed the title by just 2 points over Brock Glover, 229 to 227. Glover and his team had protested Ward for riding backward on the track after he had crashed. And despite having penalized other riders for doing the same, the AMA did not penalize Jeff Ward. The race was actually won by Team Honda's Johnny O'Mara, the reigning #1 in Supercross that year, followed by teammates David Bailey, Kawasaki's Goat Brecker. Ward would go on to finish fourth, Glover fifth. It was the first of 2 Supercross titles for Ward's career. Glover would win 6 outdoor titles, but never a Supercross title. Glover, once again, in a controversial finish, kind of like the let Brock buy thing. Anyway, enough about that. Wardy was the champion that year. Announcements are brought to you by Golan Products. Jordan, what do we have up first? Oh, we'll have Golan Products. You know, this filter, I've been talking about it for weeks now. It's absolutely the best filter money can buy. It filters down to 10 microns. It comes in blue, orange, red. It comes in silver. It can be cleaned indefinitely on the trailer in your shop, and it's available for every motorcycle made. Mini bikes, trail bikes, dual purpose, adventure bikes, you name it. Golan Products has a filter for it. It's the best filter and probably the last filter you're ever going to buy. Thank you, Elon Golan and Golan Products. Vintage Motocross Radio. There's no show this week yet. I might have something coming up in the next day or so. I will let you know by putting out a message on Facebook if I have a guest for this week. I'm talking to a few people, getting some scheduling things worked out. But right now, no show for Sunday. Yvonne DeMel has passed away at 81 years old. Yvonne DeMel, of course, an AMA Hall of Famer. He was 81 years old. DeMel was born in Montreal, Canada in 1939, and during his life, he competed in many disciplines of motorcycle racing, including drag racing, flat track, ice racing, motocross, and road racing. And not many people may know this, but he was also a world champion snowmobile racer as well. Best known as a road racer, DeMel conquered the AMA Pro Nationals, the Grand Prix World Championship, and the Endurance World Championship. In 68 and 69, he won the AMA lightweight races at Daytona on a 350 Yamaha. In 68, he finished second at Daytona behind Cal Rayburn. And strangely enough, he raced NASCAR too. Yvonne DeMel did race NASCAR in 1973. He finished 10th in a 400-lap race. And that's it. What an illustrious career. Vivid memories of DeMel, the number 17, with Gary Nixon in those Kawasaki days. He is survived by his 2 sons, Mario and Miguel, both very, very accomplished racers. Our condolences to the Duamo family. And on another sad note, very, very sad. This happened last weekend at Washougal. He was a vintage racer, a great competitor, and a friend to so many. Sadly, Harry Williams passed away at Washougal Raceway last week during a vintage race. Our condolences go out to the friends of Terry and, of course, his family. Terry, a fixture at so many of the races from Boise to Washougal and so many other places. He had so many friends, and we were all saddened to hear passed away last week at Washougal. There is another race coming up, the AHRMA Northwest Regional. That is at, that's right up here in Northern California at Marysville. So that's coming up on August 22nd. Cycle Gear is putting up some swag. So is Race Tech. Get over there to Marysville. AMMX. That's in Marysville. Great race coming up there. I went last year. And get your tickets. Time is getting close. September 11th is the last national of the season at Hangtown. Okay, and by the way it looks, Roxon was on fire last week. Ferrandis is still in it, obviously. It might get down to the wire, and you want to be at Hangtown on September 11th. Get your tickets. Get them early. I'll be there. A lot of people I know are going. October 15th, 16th, and 17th in beautiful southern New Jersey. American Classic Racing is teaming up with AHRMA and, of course, the Field of Dreams to bring you a 3-day event that's going to be absolutely fantastic. There's a GP. There's vintage racing, there's post-vintage racing, there's going to be a cross-country going on, there's going to be a barbecue, a swap meet, there's going to be dancing girls, a beer festival. It's going to be like nothing you've seen. No beer festival? Well, they should have one. Anyway, get down there. Field of Dreams, October 15th, 16th, and 17th. Scott Burnworth putting on another great race this year, the MX Classic, the Fall Classic at Glen Helen, featuring the second annual Morty Smith Memorial Cup. That will be October 16th. It'll be here before you know it. Burner and the crew put on a great event all the time. A lot of free giveaways and a lot of support from a lot of sponsors when Burner puts on a race. Thank you, Scott and Debbie Burnworth. The finish line is brought to you by Northwest Mako CZ. What is their special this week? 1975 side panels available in yellow, black, blue, red, and orange are $69.95. They're also available for the 76 and 77 models in the same variety of colors. $69.95 at Northwest Mako CZ. Vintage Motocross Q&A t-shirts and hoodies are still available for just $19.95 for the t-shirt. For a couple of bucks more, you get yourself a hoodie. Follow the link in the show description. It'll be delivered right to your door. $19.95 for a t-shirt. They come in gray and white. Vintage Motocross Q&A sponsorship opportunities are still available. Last week, we did a 28-day high. 28 days. Over 84,000 people were reached by guys like you sharing the show every week. 84,000 people. I don't think you can boost your posts. I don't think you can buy advertising on Facebook and reach 84,000 people for what I'll be charging you to be on this show. You see all of our sponsors that are still here over a year now, almost 100 shows. You should be getting out there too. Contact me. I'll get you a sponsorship proposal package. I'll put a budget together for you. Guaranteed it's going to work. It'll work. It works for everybody. Contact me. I'll get you a sponsorship proposal package. Well, that is it for our show this evening. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, there is no radio show at this point on Sunday, but we will have one probably next week. I want to thank you for watching the Vintage Motocross Q&A. And if I don't speak to you on Sunday, I'll join you again next Wednesday at 6 p.m. I'm Joel Body. Thanks for joining us. I don't know if they're available. It's hot, it's smoky, they're being a little contrary today. Gino!